It's time!
Welcome to Just Mitchin. I am the one, the only Mitchie. How is everybody doing today? I think YouTube's still loading itself up. Hopefully, you don't hear my Discord popping on and off, but I am solo once again. That's kind of how it's been lately, and just how everything's been working. But we'll get through the show. We'll have a lot of fun doing it, and we'll see how it all works itself out. But anyways, I've got plenty of topics to cover. We did that short episode the other day. Was wondering if anybody liked it, how that went. I'll ask about it again. But my real quick thing that I'm disappointed with in this in sports is I totally predicted the Masters wrong. I thought it was going to be Tiger all the way. Not all the way, but I thought he would definitely compete and be great at it. But that's not how it turned out being at all, unfortunately. He struggled yesterday, hurt him a lot, and I think he's 9 shots out of it. I mean, one of my 5 predictions was Dustin Johnson, and DJ is now there we go. Get a little bit more of the view. DJ is he's leading. He's 16 under. He's got a 4-shot lead on Cameron Smith. If Dustin Johnson just keeps playing the way he's been playing, which has been absolutely excellent, he's gonna win his first ever Masters, which is really exciting because he deserves it. He's worked really hard for it. I mean, he shot a 65, a 70, a 65. He is owning this course 100%. Down the line, he got Cameron Smith, who's tied with Abraham Answer, 2 guys I've never heard of, but they're playing really well, both 12 under. Oh, then you got Sunji M, who's 12 under. Yeah, see those 3. Dylan Freddie never heard of, but then JT Justin Thomas is right there. I mean, he's 6 shots out. I definitely think this is Dustin Johnson's to lose. The only way I can see him coughing up a 4-shot lead and then 6 shots on JT is he's gonna have to like have a Jordan Spieth moment, giving up double bogeys and all that kind of crazy stuff. But I definitely think we won't have to worry. He's gonna be our Masters winner. It's nice that Rory is somewhat in there. I mean, the 75 in the first round killed him, but he's been red hot, 66, 67. So I definitely think and Kopech's been playing well, but Kopech's been very consistent at a 70, 69, 69. I definitely think Rory, if he has a big day tomorrow, could jump into second. I don't see these 4 young men or whoever they are competing into Sunday. I mean into tomorrow. I think they're gonna play. The Masters is gonna get to them. I think that will happen. But that's just kind of my opinion in the start of this show. But anyways, normally we don't just jump right into sports, but I have no one to talk to and ask how their day is. Mine this week was great. It's Veterans Day week. I had a lot of fun, gave away helped the veteran out big time. What's up, Rudy? I decided that go ahead and send the giveaway to my house. Thanks, man. The giveaway will happen once we hit 1,000 followers. Thank you for reminding me. Go check out Just Mitchin on Twitter. And if you sub to the page, let me know in Twitter that you're sub to the page, sub to YouTube. Now I'm getting myself all distracted. All like my words all messed up. Sub to YouTube. Once we hit 1,000 subs, I'm giving away my entire Mariners PC. That's like over 40 autos. Probably over, I don't know, 1,000 cards. Most of them are very unique. I don't have too many doubles. I don't like having duplicates. That's why you're always seeing me sell stuff of Mariners cards. If it's a dupe, I get rid of it. I like having a unique, keeping different cards in it. But then we are looking at our hobby hero 2 this week. I went with Truth Seeker Sports Memorabilia. Jason's always giving stuff away. I tend to win some of his giveaways. I've won 2 of them so far. But he's doing excellent stuff, giving back to the hobby, making people happy, and he has his chance with all the other people who have won, including Rudy G was a previous hobby hero, your chance at a dugout mug, and your choice. These are so sick. And if you don't win one, go to dugoutmug.com/Mitchin. Any of their MLB licensed products, if you use code BAT30, you get 30% off. What a deal. Helps. You get 30% off, and I get a little bit of something in my pocket. I would appreciate that for the upcoming holidays. But let's jump into sports. Talk some football. I'm gonna hit college football first. Dude. I gotta click my notes. Did I lose it? Yes, I did. Cause I'm dumb. Anyways, while I am re-looking up what I wrote down, I'm just going to That's annoying, probably. All right, now I got it up. There we go. I was gonna say, is Indiana for real? What do you guys think? I think so. I think if they can stay undefeated, keep winning games. I mean, they shut out Michigan State 24 and 0. They're 4 and 0 in the Big Ten. They have wins over Penn State, Rutgers, Michigan, and Michigan State. We'll see. Their big game is coming up next. Is it next week? Yeah, next week against the Ohio State. And Ohio State had to cancel a game. My question is, with Ohio State having to cancel, I think it's 1 or 2 games now. Are we going to have a Big Ten team in the playoffs? I mean, if Indiana runs the floor, I think very much you can say that, because I don't think they've had a game canceled. They've played everyone, but I mean, they're dominating teams. I mean, Penn State was a close one, but they beat Rutgers 37-21. They beat Michigan 30-21, and they shut out Michigan State. I mean, who's definitely struggling this season, but still, once again, it is Michigan State, and they're good. I don't want to say they're a good team this year. They're god awful, but it's a team that can come and beat you when you're not expecting it. And then staying in Indiana sports, Notre Dame's playing right now. They're playing Boston College. I knew this was going to be a tough game. Boston College always seems to play Notre Dame well. Ben who runs Midwest Box Breaks, I asked him yesterday. He said says Notre Dame by 10. It looks like he's covering it right now. It's 38-16. So that's definitely good call on that, Ben. Notre Dame, they look good and then they look sloppy. The first half, I think, was a little bit sloppy. It was closer than they wanted to with Boston College. There's some turnovers, but then they put on the Jets in the second quarter. They scored 21 points. Boston College had 6. This Notre Dame team's good. I thought they were going to have that. How do you put that? That slump, that big game slump that kind of checks you, and they haven't had it. I mean, and their schedule has held up pretty well, especially with that Clemson win, because they beat Duke, University of South Florida. Wake Forest got postponed. They're playing them on the 12th of December. Then you have Florida. They blew up Florida State. That Louisville game, I literally fell asleep. It was 12-7. Then they come around, kill Pitt. Then they beat Georgia Tech. They beat Clemson in double overtime. They're beating Boston College. This team should be number 1 in the nation, in my opinion. They've got Alabama, who can't even get a game in because the SEC is COVID filled. We're going to talk about that. I think they have 6 games canceled or something like that, which is absolutely ridiculous. Figure your life out. Wear a mask. Do what you're supposed to be doing, guys. I understand that COVID's frustrating. My state itself is closed down again, Oregon, but you got to just follow the rules. Follow the rules so you can play football. It's going to hurt your draft. The people are going to be like, why can't you follow the rules? Why'd you get COVID when a lot of your other teammates didn't? Why are you being selfish? If I was someone's teammate and they wouldn't have got COVID, I'd be like, why aren't you following the rules? That's selfish that you went out and did that. Like, just stick to the protocols and you'll be fine. It showed that multiple times. I like how the NHL did it. I'm going to talk about that. I mean, I don't know how you do it with college. You can't do it with college football. NFL could do some kind of bubble system. The NBA did it pretty well, and baseball's turned to work out. We only had 2 teams really cost themselves. They cost themselves games, but baseball's the only one that can do double headers. But then to finish out their schedule, did I say they're Boston, UNC, Syracuse, Wake? So I mean, UNC is the next team I think that could give them trouble. But other than that, Syracuse and Wake Forest should be blowouts, huge blowouts. Notre Dame should be the number one ranked team in the nation. I do not understand why Alabama is. I'm gonna pull up Alabama right now. I'm not impressed with them, but we can run through some college scoreboards real quick. You got USC and Arizona tied in the third. Northwestern is in the second, 10-3 against Purdue. Miami beat Virginia Tech, 25-24. Like I said, Indiana won. Marshall came out and blew out Middle Tennessee, but Middle Tennessee's not that great. It'll be interesting. Will we see one of the smaller conferences get a team into the playoff? I mean, if you go undefeated in this season, I think so. I don't want to see two SEC teams. Like, don't put them in. If one team has a loss, it should be, if we have 4 undefeated teams, put 4 undefeated teams in the playoff, especially this year. Any other top 20? Oh, Liberty 58-14 on Western Carolina, who's only played 1 game this year. But then this is the thing. Arkansas, Florida canceled. No, was it canceled? No, they're playing. Arkansas, Florida will be playing. I think Florida's going to blow this one. I just have a gut feeling. Oregon plays Washington State. If Oregon can run the table, go undefeated, I think they should be in. I mean, if UFC can do the same thing. If Wisconsin plays Michigan, but Wisconsin's lost games, so they're going to be like 7-0, 8-0. I don't know if that gets you in. Alabama, LSU got canceled. Ohio State, Maryland canceled. No, Alabama, LSU is postponed. Ohio State, Maryland's canceled. Texas A&M, Tennessee postponed. Georgia, Missouri postponed. Coastal Carolina, Troy postponed. Auburn, Mississippi State postponed. So we're looking at, like 5 teams in the SEC that got 5 games in the SEC, 10 teams in the SEC. That's most of the SEC is postponed because of COVID. And I mean, down south they are the most, I would say, liberal with. It's funny because they're the most like conservative states, but they're the most probably liberal with towards COVID. Like they're just living their normal lives, which is fine. I mean, I have my own opinions on it. I'm not going to get into that because it's not what this channel is all about. But Cincinnati won the last night too, so they won 55-17. They're undefeated. Could they sneak themselves in? Could BYU? But I want to look at Alabama. I'm very curious. They are 6-0. What do they have up the rest of their schedule to what's making them number 1? I mean, they beat Missouri, they beat Texas A&M, they beat Ole Miss. So they have 2 top 25 wins and 1 top 5 win. Notre Dame has 1 top 5 win. They beat the number 1 school in the country. I mean, they beat Georgia. Georgia's kind of been falling down lately. They beat Tennessee, Miss State. LSU's a joke. Kentucky's a joke. Auburn's kind of a joke in Arkansas. I mean, it's the SEC, and they could go to 11-0. We'll see if they win. I mean, if they go undefeated, they'll make it in the playoff. But do they deserve the number 1 ranking right now? I don't think so. I want to see what the college committee is going to be saying because their rankings should be coming out sooner than later. Now jumping over to the NFL. Yes, I want to jump over to the no. Oh, we can. Yeah, I've already talked enough on college football. I have a couple of things with the NFL that I think are interesting. DeAndre Hopkins says receivers should get counted yards for pass interference. What the heck is he thinking? So I kind of get his idea where he's like, I want those yards, but you didn't catch the ball. I mean, sometimes pass interference calls, like you weren't going to catch it. Like it'd have to be a crazy catch. Like the guy just stopped you. In college football, you get a 15-yard penalty. In the NFL, it's wherever the penalty concurred. I don't think you should get penalty yards for it. I think he's out of his mind. I get why he said it, but I think it's pretty silly. I think it's very goofy. It'd give him more. I mean, more yards. It'd give every receiver more yards. The then do you count it as a reception? Like, so say last week, I think he had 7 targets. All 4 of the passes he didn't catch were incomplete. He caught 3 of them. 4 of the passes were for penalties. As long as the ball moves, that's all I care about. Hopkins says he had 3 catches for 30 yards. Howard's forced so he had 4 pass interference by I saw the name Xavier Howard. I wanted to make sure which Howard it was. Jeez, that's the most pass interferences on a player in the last 20 seasons. That's nuts. I mean, that would have cost him. I mean, he might have had a 100-yard game then, but do we count those as receptions? Is my question. I don't know. Like, I don't like it. I don't like it at all. It's a penalty. It's a penalty. I mean, I don't like that we replay pass interferences. Like, they can't even get them right. If we want to go back to the Green Bay Minnesota game, Green Bay had one that got overturned. That should have been overturned for pass interference, but they didn't. Cost Green Bay a touchdown. If you can't get the call right on a review, don't review it. Like, what is the point of doing a review if you're not even getting it right the first time? I mean, the second time. The first time, it happens. Fast plays happen. These guys are moving at very high speeds. It's hard to get every call right. That's why we have the reviews. But if you can't get the call right during the reviews, what's the fucking point of them? I watched some of the Colts-Tennessee game. I'm kind of nervous. That Colts team looks good, and Green Bay's going to have to play the Colts and Tennessee coming up. And both of those teams are very good. I think Green Bay will have an easier time with the Colts if they can stop Jonathan Taylor and get some pass rushers going. I think Tennessee will be hard just because Derrick Henry's so tough to stop, and Green Bay can't stop the run to save their life. That defense needs to come alive for Green Bay to have a good playoff run. I'm sick of being stuck in the NFC Championship and just getting our asses kicked. It's embarrassing. I want to be in the Super Bowl, and I don't want to get embarrassed in the Super Bowl either. So it's tough how good the offense is, and the defense can't click it together to save their life. Boston College just scored, by the way. They're going to make it close. While I'm talking, my mom's texting me, so of course I have to respond. She's the only person that can interrupt this show, and I won't ignore it. Sorry, I'm texting my mom. But I'm going to go through the NFL's schedule, what I like this week, what I like, what I don't like. Then we'll be running into the MLB awards. And then I want to talk about what the NHL has planned for the season. They think they're going to start January 1st. I think they're out of their freaking mind. And team check. All right, bam. So, Colts beat Titans. Good game. For the most part, it was a good game. It's been one of the better Thursday night games we've all saw. Like, you've had crappy teams or you had teams just getting blown out. The best one of it was the Buccaneers versus Bears. But coming up this Sunday, you got Jaguars, Packers. Packers had the line's 13.5. Green Bay's going to kill Jacksonville. I'm not worried about this game. Maybe I should be a little bit, but I'm just not. Jacksonville doesn't have anybody really that can hurt Green Bay. Texans, Browns. I'm taking the Browns. The Texans just have too many issues offensively and defensively. And I think Baker Mayfield wants this. I mean, he could get a wild card spot right now. They're 5-3. The line is Cleveland by 4. Over under is 46. I'll take the over. I think the Browns are a very good high scoring team. And I think they cover the line by 4 points. I think they win by a touchdown. Washington Lions, what a boring game, but it does still have NFC East playoff, things, because NFC East is pathetic. It says Lions by 3. Over under is 46. I mean, this game is, you can throw it up to a coin flip. Both teams suck. I'd like to see Washington come together and win some games, especially I think Alex Smith is starting this weekend. I love his story. I can't believe he came back from what he came back for. We got another shit show game coming up. Eagles, Giants. Eagles are 3-4. Giants are 2-7. I'm taking the Eagles, even though Carson Wentz is so bad, but he's not as bad as Daniel Jones. Billy's favored by 4. I think the Giants cover. I think it's a 3-point game. Over under is 44.5. I take the under. Buccaneers, Panthers. I mean, the Bucks look god awful last week. I mean, they lost 33-3. I think they're going to bounce back. I think Buccaneers over the Panthers. Tampa Bay's favored by 7.5. I think they win by a touchdown. Over under is 55.5. I take the over. Jumping over to the Broncos and Raiders, some AFC East action. Las Vegas is favored by 4. Over under is 50.5. I think the Raiders blow out this terrible Broncos team. I'm sorry. I just don't think they have the ability to get their offensive going against this Raiders defense. I think this Raiders defense is pretty decent. But the Raiders are 1-2 at home in their brand new stadium. That's kind of curious to me. I want to see that stadium packed too. It's driving me nuts that a beautiful, beautiful $1 billion stadium has nobody in it. But I'm taking Raiders over the Broncos. I think Raiders will cover the line, and I will take the under. I don't think it'll be a high-scoring game. Chargers, Dolphins. This is a matchup I'm so excited for. I will definitely keep my eye on this game. Actually, it's a 1:05 start for me. 4 o'clock start for you guys on the East Coast. Chargers, Dolphins. That's such a fun game. I mean, the Dolphins are 5-3, and they definitely could win the East, the AFC East, just because the Patriots have struggled, and the Chargers shot at a playoff spot is out. But you have Justin Herbert versus Tua, and I can't wait to see these two ballers ball out. Tua's looked great already, and Justin Herbert's on his way to win a Rookie of the Year. And nobody expected Justin even get a start this year because Tyrod Taylor is supposed to take it all. The line's 1.5. You know what? I'm not even going to pick a winner here. I'm just going to be excited to watch this game, see what these two young, phenomenal rookies can do. Over under is 48.5. I say it's over. I say these two young bucks come and ball out. You got the fun running around lefty versus the pocket, Justin Herbert. It's going to be fun. I can't. Justin Herbert throws the ball. It's so long and pretty. I can't wait to watch that. Going over to another great quarterback matchup that got me even more excited. You got another pocket passer, Josh Allen versus another scrambling machine, the undersized Kyler Murray. Bills are 7-2. Cardinals are 5-3. They have Arizona favored by 3. I think the Bills beat them by at least a touchdown, maybe 2. Arizona does have a good defense, but that Bills offense is just rolling along. No one's really been able to stop them all year long. Over under is 56.5. I take the over. I think this is going to be a high scoring game. Then you have Seahawks Rams. Rams are favored by 2.5. Over under is 54.5. I take Seahawks over the Rams. Russell Wilson's ready. This guy wants another Super Bowl. He wants another MVP. I don't think the Rams secondary can deal with DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett. Jumping over Niners, Saints, even though the line's 9.5. This Niners team's so beat up and they're just terrible. I think last year for how they got to the Super Bowl was they leaned on the defense heavily. Because that offense, name a wide receiver for that team. I mean, Jimmy G is not a good quarterback. He's Alex Smith 2.0. He just wins games because they had a good running team. I mean, he can't throw the ball to save his life. I'm taking the Saints. Drew Brees is going to have a big game. Bengals, Steelers. Sorry, Joe Burrow, but I'm taking the Steelers to go 9-0. I don't see a team that's, besides the Ravens, that can really get in the way. What? I'm gonna have to go check. I'm playing my buddy John Bijos in fantasy, and he just told me his best running back is now ruled out. So this might actually be changing how I'm thinking about some stuff. Who got ruled out? No, Taylor played. I'm gonna take a look. Who's out? No, Chris Carson's been out. I don't know who's he talking about. Josh Jacobs? It must be. It's not Kelly. It must be. It must. I don't know. I'm gonna have to be like, who are you talking about? I'll ask him. I mean, my team. I think I'm gonna go off again, having another big week. My team's so good. But I'm taking the Steelers. Sunday night football game. Ravens Patriots. Ravens Patriots team is not the Patriots team we're used to watching. Baltimore's favored by a touchdown. I'm taking Baltimore. Over under is 43.5. I take the over. I think Baltimore might even put up 43 points on them. Monday night's game is a big game in the NFC North. It's Vikings Bears. I'm excited for this one. Playing in cold. I mean, we'll see if it's cold. I mean, today it's 51 degrees in Soldier Field. I think at a night game, it'll get down to the 40s. Both teams like to run the football. The Bears are 5-4. Vikings are 3-5. Minnesota's favored by 30 points. Over under is 43. I think this is going to be run the football up the middle, smash mouth, black and blue division, NFC North game, and I'm taking the Bears. That defense, if they can stop the run, Kirk Cousins is screwed. He does. The Bears' pass rush is just so dominant. I can't wait for the Packers to face them in what is it, next week? Green Bay has them. I think next week is my call. Let me check. Nope. Green Bay has the Colts, then the Bears. I can't wait. The Colts game is going to be a tough one too, but they're playing the Bears on Sunday night. I love that Green Bay and the Bears. It's my favorite game. 2 games of the year. It's playing the Bears. Let me write him back. Boom. Boom. All right. So while we're waiting back on that text, I think I've covered the NFL and everything I want to talk about with the NFL. So we'll cross that off and we'll be jumping back over to, we'll be jumping into some baseball. I know baseball's over, but we've got breaking news coming out of it. Kim In has just became the first ever female general manager in baseball, and let alone she's the first ever GM in a North American sports league. Congratulations, Kim. I'm very excited that you got this job. I think you've been waiting for it for 15 years. Been an assistant GM. If Joe Torre says you're capable of doing this job and says you're overqualified, I would agree with him. She's done it all. She started as doing film at the very bottom for the White Sox. She's been in the game for over 30 years. I think this is a smart move by Derek Jeter, because here's the deal. Her whole entire career, she's been doubted. She's been told, maybe even to her face, that she's not good enough. This will never happen, all because of her gender. This isn't managing a baseball team. This isn't playing a baseball game. This is knowing how to manage people. And women can do that. And especially somebody who's been in this sport since she was 21. This woman is tough as they come. She has to be. She has to have thick skin. She's gonna hear it right away. And the one thing I hope that the media treats her fairly. It doesn't be too soft because she's a woman or too hard because she's a woman. Treat her like any other GM gets treated. If the Marlins aren't playing well and she's making bad moves, then it's on her. But if they're playing well and she's made good moves, let her take that those compliments. I think Derek Jeter made a great move. He knows Kim. Kim has worked for the Yankees under Brian Cashman. So her and Jeter did build that relationship. I'm excited for this. I think we need to see more women in sports at those top jobs. If they're capable of doing it, if they have the knowledge, if they can make it happen, if they've worked their way through the ranks, yeah. And especially a woman in today's era, she's overqualified because she's been passed up 5 or 6 times. Probably more than that. So congratulations to you, Kim, for breaking the mold. I mean, we've had the first ever black president and black vice president in office, woman. But yeah, vice black woman president, whatever. Good job, Kamala. I don't like you, but congratulations for being a president, vice president elect. I'll even give you some cheering because you want to give me cheering for my guy because I don't like. Well, we're not getting into that. But anyways, we're jumping away from that. Congratulations, Kim. I can't wait. I hope you bring the Marlins to some kind of glory, just because that would be such a great story coming out and about. I want to jump into MLB rewards. We talked about some of the rewards. Some of the awards. We talked about Rookie of the Years, Devin Williams out of the NL, Kyle Lewis out of the AL. Kyle batted .259 with 11 bombs, 28 RBIs, and a 363 on base percentage. I watched every at bat that Kyle Lewis had. I watched every game the Mariners had. His biggest issue is he's not consistent with his ball, with his swings in the zone. If they're throwing him a fastball, he's going to kill it. He definitely struggles with the curveball. In my opinion, I think he will get better. I think next year is going to be a good year for him. I don't think he's a one and done Rookie of the Year and kind of tumbles off. This is a superstar in the making. Devin Williams, I mean, he struck out 42% of batters faced, and 50% of the time he threw his changeup, it was for a K. This kid's an absolute stud, and I'm happy two brothers won it. Like, baseball needs that multicultural going on with their sport, just because I think they need to get it into the inner city a little bit more than they already have in initiatives that the Mariners have going on are helping them out. Then we will jump over to the Cy Young. Shane Bieber won, of course. He was lights out. Nobody could hit him. I mean, he had 122 strikeouts. He was 8-1 with a 1.63. His whip was 0.87. And then over on the NL, Trevor Bauer won the Cy Young. Everybody was saying that he was going to win it. I would have picked DeGrom. I think DeGrom's numbers were better. Trevor Bauer went 5-4 with a 1.73, 100 strikeouts, and a 0.79 ERA. DeGrom, we can compare DeGrom's numbers right here. He went 4-2. His ERA was a 2.38, but he had 104 strikes. I think if we went through a full season, DeGrom would have ended up catching him. But for some reason, DeGrom can't ever get any run support. I think if we went further on in the season, he would have won. DeGrom would. I think DeGrom's the best pitcher in the world. Going over to Manager of the Year, Kevin Cash, Don Mattingly. Kevin Cash, they went 40-20. I think what he did with Tampa Bay and the talent that they have, but I definitely think that it's a good role and everything. I definitely enjoyed what the Tampa Bay Rays did. Then jumping over to the NL, Don Mattingly, of course, deserves it. What he did with the Miami Marlins. They got struck by COVID. Named player on the Marlins. I said that last week. What he did with that team, how he managed them, was absolutely incredible. And I think this very young Marlins team could be somebody that's going to be messed around in the East for a long time, especially adding a very talented GM. Now we're going over to the Big Daddy one, the MVP, the most valuable player. Jose Abreu won the AL MVP. I saw this coming. I mean, he had 19 bombs, batted .317, 60 RBIs, and a .370 on base percentage. I think if we went through a full season, Mike Trout would have probably won it again. But congratulations, Jose Abreu. This is the man who's probably the best hitter in baseball this year in a 60-game stint. Was Freddie Freeman, .341 batting average, 13 home runs, 53 RBIs, and a .462 on base percentage. I mean, he almost has Jose Abreu by 100 points on his on base. Jose has him in the home runs and RBIs, but Freddie Freeman's not a long ball guy. This is what he drives and runs, and gets on base. I'm perfectly fine with that. Congratulations to both of you. I loved how excited Freddie Freeman was for winning that award. If I say reward one more time, I'm just going to like backhand me. Now I want to jump over to NHL plans. They think they're going to start anyways, let me do this plug. Check out everythinghockey.com. They are our hockey partner. I'm rocking one of their toques right now. That's what Canadians call beanies, but it's super comfy. I got some hoodies coming. I can't wait to rock for you guys to check out. They're sick. I got a couple of the Kings ones. I love Kings fans now, people. But Kopitar is my favorite hockey player, so I'm excited. What up, Deafness? How you doing? What up, Quotos? Thanks, guys, for coming in. I'm not used to having this many people in here. I'm just gonna cover some NHL and throw in some hobby, and then I'm gonna be jumping over to the gun show. Where was I? So yeah, Everything Hockey, check them out. Use code just mentioned for 10% off. Right now they're having their Black Friday sale, which is I buy 3 hoodies, get 1 free, and you can throw the code on top of it. I've used the code. You can throw it on top of any of the sales they have going on. Really cool stuff. But let's get into the NHL real quick. They're planning to start the season January 1st. I think that's kind of a push because we're almost in December and they don't really have a plan of how they're going to run this. Because you have the big thing with hockey is you have 7 teams in Canada. And right now with how bad the pandemic is hitting Oregon, you can't really – Oregon, I mean the U.S., how bad the U.S. is getting hit by the pandemic. So is Canada. They have the border shut down. So what I would say for them best to do is have a 7-team division up in Canada, maybe even bubble it in Toronto or something. I think because you're with a Canada division, you're literally running teams from the East and West Coast. It would be the biggest division in hockey. I mean, you're going from one side of the country to the other. And then I think would you just go down with you keep the West Coast, everybody down the West Coast plays, everybody in the Midwest plays, and you kind of just cut it how baseball did just for this year and keep, 7 teams in the same divisions. And I also think if you need to do a bubble, do it. But the NHL needs to get fans in the seats as soon as possible. Teams like the Panthers, the Stars, I mean, hell, even if you want to look at like the Senators, they can't go without the ticket revenue. They need it. They need the food revenue. They need the souvenirs revenue. They need all of that game day revenue to keep afloat. Otherwise, we're going to see teams not being around next year if the NHL can't figure out how to get fans in the stands. But I think if we get a COVID vaccine that goes all the way around for everybody to get their hands on, I think we'll see, maybe 50 to 75% of NHL stadiums in capacity. And I think for the Stanley Cup playoffs, it wasn't the same for me watching it this year. I struggled, even with the NBA too. I struggled watching them play. It just wasn't the same without fans. I think football does it well because it's such a big field. They don't have to show the empty stands and stuff, and they pump in the crowd noise. Baseball did a great job to trick my brain. But with the NBA and NHL, it just felt weird, especially the NHL. It sounds so empty in there. But they're thinking that they could in the playoffs by July 15th, right ahead of the Tokyo Olympics, and then get their season starting back to somewhat of a regular for 21-22, which I'm just ready for the world to go back to normal, completely normal. In hockey, there was no other big news. They're pretty much done with their free agencies. World Juniors is coming up. I'll talk a little bit about that, but none of my hockey nerds will really care too much. If you're looking for a break and you are a hockey guy, go check out Raccoon Alliance Breaks. I'm trying to fill some of their breaks because I got 2 spots in and I want to see what he pulls for me. I'm excited because I skunked bad last night. Talking about breaks, I want to know some of you guys. Do you like breaks? Do you not? Like, I always have that thing with breaks. Like, I want to do them because I want to support the breakers, but I don't have that luck where I think I've been in like 20, 25 breaks and I've got 1 hit pulled for me. So that's always, and I try to jump in the breaks where I'm going to, where it's pretty happy. It just doesn't go my way. I want to know what you guys think about that. Other than that, pretty short show. I don't know. I think we're going to be going to daily episodes as well as the podcast. So we do podcast episodes usually on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So those days, I don't think I'll throw out a daily episode, but Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and all the other days, I'll try to get a short 5 to 10, 15 minutes episodes in. Oh, I'm reading what Deafness said. Coming down. Breaks are the thing I feel is best, but you have to be consistent. Yeah, my issue is I'm low income. I have a brain disorder, so I can't work. This is kind of why I'm building this platform so hardcore, because this is where I'm trying to build an income. So when I have a little bit of extra play money, I do throw it into breaks. But yeah, I think it just depends on the guy. Quado says breaks doesn't work for me. I'm a vintage guy. I'm not a vintage guy. I like the new stuff. I do enjoy the vintage cards, but vintage for me is junk swags. Like, I'm 28. I'm not that old into the game. Definitely, you will not win everything or every time. If you stick with it, you will hit and probably hit big. Yeah, no, that's true. 100%. I feel like that's I like at breaks as like gambling, in my opinion. And I think that's the way it is in anything. When it has chance in it, eventually it's going to turn out, and pretty much turns out in a good way. So I'm just waiting for it. I'm in with Raccoon Alliance. I'm in a pretty big risky break. I think it's 2 boxes of Lumber Kings, buyback, 2 boxes of buyback, and then MVP. So MVP, I'll get cards in it no matter what. I'm not too. A buyback's cool. It's a very cool product. If you guys have never checked it out, but the best. I'm in love with what Leaf does with Lumber Kings on the baseball side and the hockey side. Leaf doesn't have the licenses or anything, but the cards that they put out for that product are ridiculous. Like, I saw what was it? A Gretzky, Lemieux, Bobby Hall, Ken Griffey Jr. I can't remember the 2 other bats, but it was a 6-card bat relic just with amazing players that I think Leaf does well with all their higher end products, because nothing's worse than when you buy a $400 box. Let's even go higher with National Treasures. I hate watching, and I feel bad for the breaker. I feel bad for the person who got that spot, and I feel bad if I'm just watching somebody who bought a National Treasures box or Panini Immaculate or any of these high-end boxes by Topps and Panini. When you pull a single card patch and you buy, say it's 4-card, like what, 4-card, say you get 4 hits in it and you paid $400 for it, you're basically paying $100 a hit, and you're not getting a double colored patch. I know, but as a collector, as somebody who just likes to have cool shit, like, to me, I think Leaf has some cool stuff, but I definitely get that it has no resale value. But I mean, what's cooler, having like a Leaf card that's with a super nasty chunky patch that's low numbered, or having a National Treasures Mike Trout just single colored patch that's numbered to 199? I'd rather have the chunky, whoever it is, patch with all the cool colors in it by Leaf than by Panini or Topps that has just a single colored. Like, the single colors, to me, like, I'm definitely a person that likes jersey relics, but it gets boring after a while. It gets boring just seeing the same white tissue paper over and over and over. But I get the resale value, especially in today's market. Everything today is resell this, resell that. It's almost annoying, in my opinion. Can't find any retail to save my life because people are flipping it for $60 for a box of Mosaic. Like, I understand the whole thing of making money, and I agree with it because I am an entrepreneur by heart. But at the same time, it's frustrating not to be able to find just something to rip. Even just a $5 hanger would be nice. Can't find anything, and I'm cheap when it comes to cards. I mean, I'll jump into some crazy breaks every now and then, like I did, but then I don't know. I'm running out of the things that I heard about Leaf, Jimmy Gunn. I'm not supporting Leaf. What happened with Jimmy Guns and Leaf? I'll have to ask him. I think you have to have money to buy into the hobby. Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, this collection, like my Mariners collection that I'm giving away, I started not with a lot of money, and I made a pretty good collection out of it. Reselling from cards you get into breaks. Yeah, I definitely do that. I mean, when I get into breaks, I flip the cards I do get. Like what sucked was I jumped into, well, I won a mini with Ben. I won 2 spots in a mini for Ben for a 2 hobby jumbo with Tops. And I wasn't going for the hits because I know with Tops, you know, update Series 2 or Series 1. Let me get on that topic real quick. Now I know what you're talking about. So I knew I wasn't going to get hits there with Tops. But I was, you know, just hoping a good team and grabbing some something nice, something good. Like rookie cards. I ended up getting the Rockies Royals, didn't really grab much. That kind of sucked. But I jumped in a 6-box hockey break and I traded for the Flames and I didn't hit a single card. Not even base. That was brutal. It happens though. I've never skunked that hard before. Yeah, see, now I don't want to support Leaf anymore. When I don't know if you guys were following me because I didn't really have that. I think that was the first time I really got my name into the hobby. It was back in May for my birthday when I did my big hobby giveaway. I had Panini give a box. I can't remember. It was a lot of little stuff, a lot of big stuff given away. I did on my birthday, and Panini gave me a box, which was absolutely awesome. I think Panini comes through. Upper Deck said no. Leaf said no. And Tops wouldn't even answer me because, you know, to get Tops to answer anybody is absolutely impossible. I think I'm not the biggest fan of Tops. I don't like how they've done Project 2020. I bought only 1 card for Project 2020 to support Blake Jameson, and my case came scratched, and then I had somebody offer me won it, so I sold it, and I told him this case was scratched. He was fine with it. I like how Blake, you know, he covers that though. He'll give you a new card and new one touch and sign and everything. But I definitely think Tops has dropped the ball. But anyways, I have a question since I have some people watching. How long does it take for Panini to fill rewards? Because I've had 400 rewards. Sitting around for a while. I finally used them. At first, I was pissed I had to pay shipping, but I get it. $6 for 2 cards, kind of ridiculous to me. I can send a lot of cards for like $4. But I've got 2 LA Kings cards because they're cheap on points and they've just been sitting there. But I bought them on Monday and they're still processing. I mean, are they backed up? Maybe, possibly. I don't see how they don't have 1 million employees with the money that they've been making. And on Monday, or Sunday or Monday, the episode is going to be, are we in a junk wax era or not? The second era. I'm going to get into that. Be like 5-15 minutes, but a good one. But guys, I'm out of here because I'm going to have a tickle in my throat. And we might actually have 2 videos if mail ever comes. My mail still hasn't come in. It's 4 o'clock. It's driving me nuts. But I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm going to be jumping on Jimmy Gunn. Going to be jumping into Jimmy Gunn's talk. Yeah, they don't rush anything. You guys, I'm trying to jump out of here and then you come in. No, I'm teasing. Yeah, I didn't pull them. Somebody gave them to me. It's like 400 points, and they're like, here you go. And I was like, sweet. And then being a Mariners Packers fan, I wasn't seeing. There's no good Mariner cards in there. I was like, this is terrible. And then any of the good Packer cards were sucky. Yeah, no, definitely. Thanks for checking it out. If you ever want to interview me on your show, I watch it. I would love to come on. I have a cool story. But I'm out of here, guys, for sure. I'll be jumping into Jimmy's chat in about 10 minutes. I'm going to go use the bathroom and do all that stuff. But, guys, have a good one. I'm out of here.